Alright everybody, see how we doing today. Here we go. Ladies and gents, we will now make our final story for today with two articles. One from RT, one from Reuters. Now, Trump threatens worst trade deal for China if Beijing stalls until after his re-election. U.S. President Donald Trump has once again criticized China's trade practices, warning negotiations could get tougher. The statements came as Beijing and Washington are headed into another round of trade negotiations in Shanghai. In a series of tweets on Tuesday, Trump warned if China waits and he wins re-election, the trade deal will be much tougher for Beijing. China is doing very badly. Worst year in 27. Was supposed to start buying our agricultural product now. No signs that they are doing so. That is the problem with China. They just don't come through. Trump wrote. China is doing very... that was a... So, here we go. Further quotes from Donald J. Trump. My team is negotiating with them now, but they always change the deal in the end to their benefit. They should probably wait out our election to see if we get one of the Democrat stiffs like Sleepy Joe. Then they could make a great deal, like in past 30 years, and continue to rip off the USA even bigger and better than ever before. U.S. Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin and Trade Representative Robert Lighthizer will meet on Tuesday and Wednesday in Shanghai with a delegation led by China's Vice Premier Liu He. According to Trump, the problem with them waiting, however, is that if and when I win, the deal that they will get will be much tougher than what we are negotiating now, or no deal at all. We have all the cards. Our past leaders never got it. My God, this man sometimes can be kind of ignorant. Or arrogant, I should say, pardon. Oh, I'm sure he can be plenty ignorant. Beijing rejected Trump's accusations, insisting that China has purchased U.S. agricultural products and announced on Sunday that millions of tons of U.S. soybeans have been shipped to China since July 19th, according to Xinhua News Agency. Chinese companies are looking for soybeans, cotton, pork, and sorghum. China agreed earlier to narrow its multi-billion-dollar trade surplus with the U.S. by purchasing more American soybeans, natural gas, and other exports. The pledge has revoked after Trump started hiking tariffs last year. The two countries have been locked in a trade war since 2018 when Washington slapped 25% tariffs on $50 billion worth of Chinese products, triggering a similar response from Beijing. Since then, the sides have exchanged several rounds of tit-for-tat levies. In June, the Trump administration levies tariffs on $250 billion worth of Chinese goods to 25%, and China hit back, raising tariffs up to the same rate on 5,000 U.S. goods with $60 billion. Beijing and Washington paused the tariff hike exchanges following talks between the two nations, leaders on the sidelines of the G20 summit last month. Yeah, so he arrogantly says our past leaders never... It's like, our past leaders never got it, but I get it. I'm a genius. No one's smarter than me. My intellect is huge. You know what I mean? It's like... The dude can be so arrogant sometimes, it's mind-numbing. But it might also be true. It is true that we were screwed by China economically for a long time. In fact, I think a lot of Republicans feel like this is the right decision, even if it really isn't. Because it appeals to what they want. It appeals to their egos. Personally, I don't see this trade war as necessary or helpful in any capacity, and it's actually hurting the world economy. Because with lack of trade means lack of growth, and with lack of growth and trade means lower GDPs and less to survive on. So, you know, that's just how it is, I guess. Anyway, moving on to the next article. North Korea official tells U.S. counterpart talks to begin soon. Senior U.S. official. This one is from Reuters. A North Korean official told a White House National Security Council counterpart last week that working-level talks to revive denuclearization negotiations with North Korea would start very soon, a senior U.S. administration official said on Tuesday. There were no details provided to reporters on which such talks would occur. U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo has appeared hopeful of a diplomatic way forward despite North Korea test-firing 2 new short-range ballistic missiles on July 25th. Pompeo and North Korean Foreign Minister Ri Yong-ho had been expected to meet on the sidelines of a Southeast Asia Security Forum in Bangkok this week, but Ri canceled his trip to the conference, a diplomatic source said. On Tuesday, the senior U.S. official also said it appeared Ri would not be in Bangkok. The most recent contact between North Korea and the United States occurred last week when a U.S. official in Asia for unrelated talks traveled to the demilitarized zone between the two Koreas to deliver photographs commemorating the June 30 meeting there between U.S. President Donald Trump and North Korean leader Kim Jong-un, the senior U.S. administration officials told reporters. So meetings are going ahead, but it looks like they're sort of pussyfooting around each other, trying to avoid, the situation in some way. I'm not sure why they'd be doing that, but something looks a little funny. Is this what politics in general tends to sort of look like? Because I'm beginning to think that that's what it is. Pompeo said on Monday he hoped working-level talks to revive denuclearization talks with North Korea could occur very soon, but emphasized that a follow-up leaders' summit was not planned. Pompeo left Washington on Tuesday for Thailand and will also visit Australia and Micronesia in a trip lasting until August 6th. A February summit in Vietnam between Trump and Kim collapsed after two sides failed to reconcile differences between Washington's demand for Pyongyang's complete denuclearization and North Korean demands for sanctions relief. At their DMZ meeting, they agreed to resume working-level talks, but Pyongyang has since accused Washington of breaking a promise by planning to hold joint military exercises with South Korea in August and warned that these could derail the dialogue. Trump told reporters at the White House on Tuesday, "We'll see what happens. I can't tell you what's going to happen." North Korea has also warned of a possible end to its freeze on nuclear long-range missile tests in place since 2017, which Trump has repeatedly upheld as evidence of the success of his engagement with Kim. North Korea keeps trying to build rockets and nukes, yet keeps wanting to bring us back to the table. It seems like an almost sort of schizophrenic approach to the whole thing. It's almost like they didn't really want the nukes at all, and that their provocative behavior was to draw attention to the nukes, possibly with the hope of selling them off, or something of that nature, or getting some sort of deal set up. And I suppose that's probably what Iran was planning with their nuclear weapons, was they wanted to set up some sort of deal for trade of some kind. At this point, that's all I could possibly imagine. Why not just sell the uranium itself? That'd be easier and less of an issue. You could sell the uranium and make quite a bit of money. I just don't understand North Korea's logic on this at all. How they can just go back and forth like they're on a seesaw. It seems crazy to me, you know? That Kim Jong-un seems a little wacky. Of course, anyone who do his hair the way he does and dress like he does and act like he does and have a school system where they teach children that he's some sort of supernatural deity has got to be a little whacked out. But anyway, yeah, I mean, I definitely think the meeting's going to go ahead and we should negotiate if they're willing to negotiate, but quite frankly, I just don't understand how they think. Anyway.